Nish. Now, there has been a lot of coverage recently about how young people are a bunch of weak, entitled snowflakes. Millennials are entitled, they're lazy, they're weak, they're the me generation. And of course, they spend all of their money on avocados, which is a sort of savoury pear that costs the same amount as a house. Now, many of the accusations of snowflakery centre upon people who find everything offensive. Non-Mexicans wearing sombreros, the sitcom Friends, opinions about transgender issues, and of course we shouldn't be shutting down free speech, even when it's deemed distasteful. Of all human rights, the right to offend people is one of my absolute favourites. For example, shut up, Nish, you tedious lefty ball bag.
A lot of ball bag these days.
I don't. But the snowflake accusation is also being used to discredit anyone who worries about equality or looks to improve the lot of humans, like Lily Allen. She was branded Snowflake of the Year by The Telegraph for crying over unaccompanied children in Calais being abandoned by the British government. Crying in the presence of a small homeless child? How weak is she, the compassionate twat? Am I right, Nish?
No.
Most recently, students who have spoken out about gun control in the wake of the mass shooting at the school in Florida have been attacked on Twitter for being snowflakes. That's actually one of the survivors being called a snowflake. The argument goes that if you complain about horror, injustice or inequality, then you're self-pitying and pathetic. Only this week, RParis in The Times said that the Me Too movement was about self-pitying and gaining victim status. Matthew moaned that too much of the media was devoted to women moaning too much, and we know this because he moaned about it in The Times and then moaned about it in The Spectator and finally moaned about it on Radio 4. That is a man who needs a safe space. You see, there is a determined campaign to conflate people being a bit squeamish about offensive ideas and language with people legitimately demanding change. And the truth is, history is absolutely littered with dreadful snowflakes. Martin Luther King was a famous hand-wringing liberal who got all hysterical about the persecution of black people in America. He had a dream about little kiddies playing together. Stop dreaming and do some bloody work, you hipster. And of course, then there was Mahatma Gandhi, a vegan, RParis. So Gandhi didn't like his people being oppressed, so he kept refusing his food. What an ungrateful hippie. So, millennials and post-millennials, you are all apparently entitled narcissists, even as you will be the first generation to earn less than your parents, and you will never be able to afford to buy a property. I don't know what the problem is. Don't they like hearing mum and dad having sex as they lie in their childhood bedroom thinking, Christ, I'll be 40 soon? So entitled. Well, millennials, you're entitled to sort out climate change too. Good luck with that. And soz. So is it that young people today are just young people? I mean, idiots, obviously, but also courageous, passionate, keen to make the world a better place. Let's give the last word to Emma Gonzalez, a young millennial who attended the school where 17 students and teachers were shot dead last Wednesday.
Every single person up here today, all these people should be at home grieving. But instead, we are up here, standing together because if all our government and president can do is send thoughts and prayers, then it's time for victims to be the change that we need to see.
What a snowflake. And who knows, Nish? Maybe these young snowflakes will cause an avalanche. Back to you, Nish.
Thank you, RParis.